Villains are fascinating, terrifying, and a quintessential part of any story. But what happens when they're based on real people? From infamous serial killers to tyrannical dictators, here are 5 of history's darkest villains, including one who even made a mockery of the serial killer trope itself. We all love a good scary story, but there's something extra terrifying about knowing that some horror stories are all too real. For thousands of years, there have been those among us who have engaged in the most heinous of activities, from torture to murder, and everything in between. Some have managed to get away with their crimes, while others have been caught and punished. Regardless, their actions have left an indelible mark on history and continue to fascinate and horrify us to this day. One of the most famous and infamous villains in history is Hannibal Lecter, a fictional character created by author Thomas Harris. Despite being a work of fiction, Lecter has become synonymous with evil, and his chilling portrayal by Anthony Hopkins in the film Silence of the Lambs has cemented his place in our collective nightmares. So let us start off this list with a bang by diving into the world of fiction and exploring the character who has become the epitome of pure evil. Hannibal Lecter first appeared in Harris's novel Red Dragon in 1981, and then again in the films Manhunter and Hannibal Lecter. He is a brilliant psychiatrist and former FBI hostage negotiator turned cannibalistic serial killer who targets young women and devours their flesh. Lecter is portrayed as a sophisticated, cultured individual with an impeccable taste for fine dining, art, and music. However, beneath this refined exterior lies a sadistic and remorseless killer. Lecter's crimes are not just gruesome, but also meticulously planned and executed, showcasing his intelligence and psychopathy. He takes pleasure in tormenting his victims both physically and psychologically, often engaging in long, drawn-out games of cat and mouse before finally dispatching them. While Lecter is a fictional character, he is inspired by real-life serial killers such as Jeffrey Dahmer and Edmund Kemper. Harris himself has acknowledged this, stating that he was influenced by the case of a real-life cannibalistic murderer named Alfred Border. The character has had a significant impact on popular culture and has become a symbol of pure evil. Lecter's chilling catchphrase, "I do wish we could put a little more humanity into our inhuman species," is a testament to his nihilistic worldview and his complete lack of empathy. So what makes Hannibal Lecter the perfect example of evil? It's his ability to embody the worst aspects of humanity. His intelligence, charm, and sophistication make him all the more terrifying as he represents the potential for evil that exists within us all. Lecter is a reminder that evil can come in the most unexpected packages, and that even the most civilized societies can produce monsters, from fictional characters to real-life tyrants. Next up on our list is Adolf Hitler, one of the most infamous villains in human history. Hitler was the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany and the driving force behind the horrific atrocities committed during World War II. Born in Austria in 1889, Hitler developed a deep-seated hatred towards Jews, communists, and other groups that he considered undesirable. This hatred would form the basis of his political ideology, which he outlined in a book called Mein Kampf. In 1923, Hitler attempted to overthrow the Bavarian government in a failed coup. This, along with his imprisonment for his earlier anti-Semitic writings, led to his time in jail where he wrote Mein Kampf. After his release, he gained power legally, eventually becoming Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Once in power, Hitler wasted no time in implementing his hateful agenda. He began by passing laws that stripped Jews of their citizenship and prohibited them from holding government jobs. As anti-Jewish violence increased, so did Hitler's power. By 1934, he had consolidated his power and established a totalitarian state. Over the next decade, Hitler's regime would commit some of the most horrific atrocities in human history, including the Holocaust, the genocide of an estimated 6 million Jews across German-occupied Europe. He also targeted other groups such as homosexuals, people with disabilities, Roma, and political opponents. Hitler's reign of terror would come to an end in 1945 when he committed suicide as Allied troops closed in on his bunker in Berlin. Despite his death, the impact of his ideology and actions continues to be felt today. But why is Hitler considered evil? Hitler's actions were motivated by a toxic combination of racism, nationalism, and a lust for power. His hatred towards certain groups was so intense that he was willing to do anything to eliminate them. His decision to initiate World War II and commit genocide are clear examples of his capacity for evil. He is a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of standing up against hate and discrimination. The next name on our list is Timothy McVeigh, the mastermind behind the Oklahoma City bombing, one of the worst terrorist attacks in U.S. history. On April 19, 1995, a truck bomb exploded outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, killing 168 people and injuring more than 600 others. McVeigh, an anti-government extremist, was found guilty of conspiracy to bomb the building and was sentenced to death. Before his execution in 2001, he stated, "I'd just as soon have the government kill me than spend my life rotting in prison." When asked if he had anything else to say, McVeigh replied, "Thanks for all the support over the years. Thanks for everything." Supporters of McVeigh argued that he was motivated by a genuine belief that the government had acted unjustly, pointing to the 1993 Ruby Ridge incident in which federal agents killed a white separatist and his wife in front of their baby. McVeigh's lawyer argued in court that McVeigh was a martyr and his actions were those of a patriot. But the majority view McVeigh as a cold-blooded killer who showed no remorse for his actions. What makes McVeigh a villain? It's his willingness to use terrorism to achieve his political goals. His actions were not just criminal, but also deeply disturbing and morally reprehensible. He deliberately targeted a building full of innocent people and showed no regard for the loss of life or suffering he caused. McVeigh's case serves as a reminder of the dangers of extremism and the importance of seeking justice through peaceful means. Up next is the infamous Ponzi scheme architect Charles Ponzi. Despite not committing crimes in the traditional sense, his actions have had far-reaching consequences and have left a lasting negative impact on society. Born in 1862 in Italy, Ponzi immigrated to the United States in 1882. He began his career as a businessman, but his financial dealings would soon take a darker turn. In the early 1920s, Ponzi noticed that foreign exchange coupons were increasing in value due to market speculation. He came up with the idea of selling these coupons at a discounted rate and profiting from the difference when they were redeemed. He called this method a pyramid promotion. What followed was an unprecedented financial fraud. Ponzi promised investors high returns on their investment and attracted thousands of participants. However, it was only a matter of time before the scheme collapsed. And when it did, most investors lost their money. Ponzi was arrested and charged with mail fraud and conspiracy. He served 3 months in prison and was fined $10,000, equivalent to around $150,000 today. Although Ponzi's scheme was ultimately exposed, its impact was far-reaching. It highlighted the greed and desperation of the time period and paved the way for future financial scandals. Why is Ponzi considered a villain? His actions were motivated by pure greed and deception. He promised investors high returns without any legitimate basis and lured them in with false promises. Ponzi's scheme is a prime example of the dangers of investing in get-rich-quick schemes and a reminder of the importance of due diligence. Last, but certainly not least, is the infamous Vlad the Impaler, better known as Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler was a Romanian prince who lived in the 15th century. He earned his infamous title from his brutal and inhumane treatment of his subjects. Vlad was known for his sadistic and violent tendencies, and he used any means necessary to maintain his power. He organized mass executions of his enemies and even dipped his bread in blood during meals. Vlad's behavior was so disturbing that it led to rumors that he dipped his bread in blood, a symbol of his complete disregard for human life. Vlad's reign of terror came to an end when he was captured and imprisoned by his rivals. He spent his final years in captivity plotting revenge until his death. Vlad's story has captured the imagination of many, and he has been depicted in various works of art, literature, and film. Some believe that Vlad was actually the inspiration for the legendary figure Bram Stoker immortalized in Dracula, while others see Vlad as an actual monster. Why is Vlad the Impaler considered evil? Vlad's actions were motivated by a lust for power and control. He was willing to do anything to maintain his position and would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Vlad's story is a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of keeping those in power accountable. These are just a few of the many evil people who have existed throughout history. Their actions have had a profound impact on the world and continue to fascinate and terrify us to this day. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these villains did you find the most fascinating and why? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out another one. We guarantee you'll be on the edge of your seat.